Got the string. Oh, there we go. Hello. I'm like, why am I not showing? Why am I not showing? The string. Oh, there we go. Hello. Why am I lagging? I'm like, why am I not showing? Oh, okay, let me turn this up. Turn that on. Hello. Hey, Brooklyn. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay, Brooklyn? I'm fine. Can you hear me all right? Oh man, I might have to do something. She not on here yet. Yes, you can. Okay. Hello. Hello, my family and friends, my diamonds and my jewels for everybody that's gonna come on. How you doing, Brooklyn? How are you? I am doing great. It is Sunday evening. It is Sunday evening. And okay, there she go. You can hear me loud and clear. All right. Okay, here go Michelle. I'm gonna go ahead and add her to the screen. Hello, Michelle.
Hi, well, greetings, everyone.
Hey, glad you're Brooklyn said glad you are here. He said hello. I'm glad we're here too, Brooklyn. I am too. We are here. We are live. Um, we are live. We're gonna wait to get started with our questions and stuff. We're gonna wait for a couple more people to come on in here. Um, Brooklyn, what was for dinner today? Wait, it's 5 o'clock. I ain't even eaten dinner yet. Is this sun too much on my face? I might have to.
Beautiful.
Thank you, girl. Awesome. Glad you're here. I just wanna send this to hello for anybody else that's getting ready to join. We're glad you are joining. Can Brooklyn, are you able to share this live? I usually eat pasta on Sundays. Oh, okay. I had chicken noodle soup yesterday. Pasta. Let me see if I close this. Put still okay. I was trying to get some of them lines off my face, but it's okay. It's still not dark, so that's cool. I'm gonna try to share this. How are you doing today, Michelle?
I am doing great, or should I say, I am doing well. Doing
Yes,
well. The
I can try to.
snowstorm in Cleveland is over. We made it through that. The sun is shining.
Yes, I think we're supposed to get some more snow this week. I'm not sure when, but I do believe. Okay, what's going on here? Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on, bear with me. Let's turn that sound off. That ain't working. Where the sound? Where's Okay, let's just do this. There. That was my phone. I'm just trying to share the stream so we can get oh, she left. What happened? What happened? I can try to share. Thank you. Um it'll come back on. It'll come back on. As soon as she come back up. Yep, well we today is gonna be today is wellness, might as well say wellness Sunday. We are still in the break room. This is the break room. Where did my share button there go share. Copy, go into my community. Post. Okay. Okay. I don't know what happened.
That was me. That was me clicking on my screen.
Oh, okay. I'm did I post it twice? I might okay, just sharing and trying to put it on, share it with my Instagram. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're just sharing it out right now. We're trying to get some more people up in here so we can discuss with our beautiful lady, our beautiful guest that came to share with us. Wait, where we at? Where we at? Wait a minute. Okay, y'all bear with me. Oh, there we go. I'm like, where is it? Share. Okay. Share. All right. All right. Should be on my community wall. It should be on your community wall. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just shared it on the community, shared it on the I can share it on Facebook. We just want to share it out. Share, share, share. Share alike. Yeah. Everybody can just share it wherever you can. Not now, not now. Why do I keep going to, there we go. There we go. Oh, Michelle reminded me, if I share it on Facebook, I need to share it, put it on my, what did you say? Put it on? No
Facebook
problem.
or Instagram?
On Facebook. I need to put it in the
Oh, the story?
put it in the story because more people will see it, right?
Yes. I don't know if it'll let you share like a live session, but if you were just sharing the thumbnail, share it in your story so more people will see it. Let me try to do it.
Yeah, I just shared it on share the story. Okay, I just shared it on both.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, Bayou Kitchen. Hello. Thank you for coming in. Okay, I just shared it everywhere I could. So that's what it is. So good afternoon, everybody that's here, everybody that's watching. We appreciate you. We thank you for coming in to the break room this afternoon. We don't usually do the break room in the afternoon, but what it is now, we have new hours. Our new hours is Tuesday and Thursday, 9 o'clock a.m. If we don't make it on at 9, we will definitely still be on. Right, I'll come on in the lunch hour, which is 12 o'clock or 12:30. But my set time is Tuesday and Thursday at 9 o'clock. And now we have added Sundays. Come on in, who's ever trying to come in. So we've added Sundays at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And we will be trying to have special guests on Sundays in the afternoon. And this Sunday, we have a special guest, is Michelle Lives Well. Her name is Michelle Wilcox, the eldest of the clan. Okay. The eldest of the clan. Hello, Melissa. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Hello, hello. Again to Bayou's Kitchen guy in Brooklyn. We have 3 guests in here right now. Others will come in. So we thank you guys. Hello, Weasley Hustle, Willie Hustle. Hello, hello. Did I say that right? Willie. Did I say it right, Michelle? So,
Wiley.
Wiley Hustle. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for coming in. Again, it is Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock in the break room. And we appreciate everybody that has come in to join us. We come in the break room 3 days a week. We chit and we chat and we do all that. Okay. We talk about whatever is on the board. But today we have a special guest. Again, Michelle Wilcox, and her YouTube page is Michelle Lives Well. And so today we're going to be talking about what it means to live well. And She does have did I just say her YouTube page is Michelle Lives Well, and so I will put that in the description box. If one of my moderators come in, I have them do that. If before I do, Patty D, what's up? If one of them come in, I have the hello, Jenna. So and these is two of the ladies that come in the break room in the morning all the time. I haven't seen them in a while because I've been MIA. But so we'll put it in the description box. And so I want to let you guys know that as we're going along, we're gonna have her. We're gonna be asking Michelle questions, interviewing her, letting her talk about what does living well, what does it mean to live well, what does that look like, how we can live well, and then you can ask any questions that you decide that you want to write down questions as she's talking. If it's some questions that you want to ask her, and then when you put them in the description box, I'll try to I'll try to grab them up and asked her the questions to let her know so she can answer you. So that's what it is. And so if we have time later on, we might open up the chat for someone to come up if we have time. We're gonna go for an hour. But I love you guys. Thank everybody for coming in. So we're gonna let Michelle go ahead for right now and introduce herself. All right.
Well, greetings, everyone. This is exciting to be a part of the break room. I hear a lot about the crew that come through the break room. So my name is Michelle Lives Well. My official name is Michelle Wilcox, but for YouTube purposes, the social media is Michelle Lives Well. On my other social media platforms, it is Live Well Inside Out Michelle, or Michelle Lives Well Inside Out. And I've been doing wellness for a very long time. Started out at the age of 18, lost 60 pounds, just making it work with what I had. No secret sauce, no special pills, no magic, anything. Just going from 242 all the way down to 180, 181, 182. That went back and forth for quite some time. But just growing up where we grew up, my mother, she leads this station. So she made it work what we had, and I learned from her to make it work with what we had, and lost weight the good old fashioned way with nutrition and physical fitness. And that was my understanding of wellness at that time. But I was just, 18. So what do you really know, right? And it wasn't until life started hitting me every which way where I really learned what it means to live well despite what you have going on around you, what's happening to you, around you, and in you. And so I just wanted to come on today to talk about what that looks like, what it can look like, and what that means. And so the work that I do is all around wellness, holistic wellness. Before holistic wellness became a popular term, it was optimal wellness. It was health and nutrition, physical fitness and nutrition. And so holistic wellness, optimal wellness, whichever one you want to use, it is about the whole person. And so that's the work that I've been doing since the age of 18. We traveled a lot. My husband was in the military. So we lived in a couple of different countries, a few different states. And so I've had the privilege of engaging with folks in discussions and education around wellness in different states, different countries, people from all walks of life. And so I learned from, especially the people in South Korea. That was my favorite duty station. So I learned a lot about growing and controlling what it is you put in your body and what it does to your body. So right now I'm in a different season. And so my focus, mental wellness is my focus right now. I'm in a different season. I recently was diagnosed with PTSD and insomnia, depression, and anxiety. And I had a nervous breakdown at the top of this year, because wellness is ever evolving. It's not a one size fits all. It's ever evolving and it's ever changing depending on which season you are in. And so I had a nervous breakdown at the top of this year. And you all are actually the first group that I've said that to outside of my family. And so where I used to focus solely on nutrition and fitness, the physical part of the wellness wheel, I'm now focused on emotional, intellectual, my mind, and all that it involves, and making sure that I'm living well inside out and on purpose, no matter what is going on. So it was a reality check. And I'm happy to be here today. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have and just engage with you all in this discussion around wellness and the real deal Holyfield of that, what that really looks like.
Oh wow, thanks, Michelle. So again, like she said, if you guys have any questions, I'm gonna be asking her a few questions. Um if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat and we'll put them up there. So, thank you, Jenna. So living well, you went from living well as far as the meaning of living well in your life, was in the beginning was all about like eating and exercising, right? That's what you said, right? So in the beginning, it was all about exercising and eating well and keeping yourself together so you can be healthy. But now, like you saying that you're in a different season as far as now living well means something totally different, right? Like, so you said that now living well for you is all about your the mental state, our mentality, our, am I saying that right? The mental state.
Mm-hmm.
Because living well, what we're seeing over especially over these couple of years, I'm sure people have been dealing with this already for a long time, but what we are seeing now that's ever present is how over the last couple of years, a lot of people have went from having to keep themselves together with eating and eating and exercise, that meaning of living well, to now a lot of people are having different mental issues, like, like with having to stay in the house, stress with their job, losing, having to change jobs, losing homes, losing cars, losing family, because a lot of people have passed on. So now it's like living well does not just mean um living, eating good. Eating good, because like you, Michelle, you have always been that person. Yeah, people are stressed out and hurt, right, Jetta. People are stressed out and they hurting, and they going from one, it's a whole nother mindset now to what we're going through now than what we have been through. People were functioning and functioning the best way they could, but now when this thing hit, it kind of like bam, turned everybody's world upside down. So we're finding out a lot of people's mental stability, their mindset, the way they operate, the way they walk have changed. And hey, boss life, and a lot of people look, and this is on top of going through life, right? This is all of this that's been happening, is all is have just been piled on top of what we already had to go through in life. Shoot, we are, like, some of us already struggle with obesity and not being able to keep a job and having to move for whatever reason and all of that. And so now, like, trying to live well through that and not even thinking about, I need the whole person to be well. Because I really didn't think about the whole person. I always thought about living well um, would be, you always tell me about eating right, Ma. Eating right, don't eat that. You need to eat this. You need to, drink a lot of water, get out and walk. She sounded like my doctor the most majority of the time. So, but now I want you to just like expound on the whole person. How can how did you go from, well, I know you touched on that a little bit, but how can we go from making sure the whole person is doing good? How can we put our attention, take our focus off of just this part of us, and focus? We have to focus on our whole person. So if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a perfect setup to what it is, what does holistic wellness, optimal wellness, I talked about that before, but really going into that word. So my mom know I'm big on language, I'm big on definitions and on words. And so when I look at that term holistic, I look at the root word of holistic. So that first part of it, that root, whole. So that whole person, the whole being. And then I also look at it from a spiritual lens because I believe in God. Holy, HOLI, holy. So I look at the whole person, the whole being, the spiritual being that we're made up as, and we're made up of a spiritual being. I should say it like that. And when you think of wellness, wellness has been around for a very long time, but the phrase wellness and optimal wellness and holistic wellness was coined about 4 decades ago. And so holistic wellness, optimal wellness, but really focused on that word, the root word of whole person, whole being, and holy. One of the dimensions, there are 9 dimensions of wellness, but it's really taught as 8 now. It used to be 6, and then they've expanded upon that wellness wheel, if you will. So one of the main ones that I focus on when I'm doing teachings and working with people is the spiritual aspect of things. Spiritual wellness is super important because it keeps you grounded when all heck is breaking loose, right? And that's what we've been experiencing these past 2 years. And that's what you're referring to with this COVID season that we're in our lives. All heck is breaking loose. None of it makes sense. We don't have any control over it. And for an individual who had traumatic things happen to them when they were younger, and I can speak for myself, my own experience working through my trauma, for an individual who had things happen to them, it's out of their control. Something like COVID, even if we've been doing well all our lives, if we've been living well, if we've been, we got healed from hurt and pain, or we hadn't been drinking or smoking, or, a lot of relapse happened, a lot more depression, a lot more anxiety happened during this time because so much chaos was happening. We didn't know what was coming around the corner. We didn't know what was left from right. We didn't know how long we're going to be here. We didn't know if this was the end of time for those of us that believe in God. And so a lot of uncertainty, a lot of things were out of our control. And when you have been through things when you were younger, that's out of your control, you tend to grow up as a person that likes order, that likes things in their control. And so COVID came and shook us all and knocked us off our footing. And the way you stay grounded is having something bigger than yourself. And God is bigger than us. God is bigger than COVID. God is bigger than it all. And so those who don't have a spiritual connection, if you don't believe in God or something else, people were struggling at this time. And even if you do believe in God, like I do, I struggled, but I had other things going on outside of that. And I went deep into my spiritual belief and practices. And so spiritual wellness is something that's grounding. But let's say, for instance, you are like myself, I was super grounded in spiritual wellness, but the other dimension of environmental wellness and occupational wellness for me was up in the air. My environment that I was in, both in my home, in my community, everything was happening as African Americans. Things happen to us left and right, and we have no control over it. We can't explain it. We just push through it, right? So things were happening in my home, outside my home, then on my job, and everything was happening at one time. And that led to the nervous breakdown, even though I teach it, right? Even though I teach wellness, even though I understand it, I just was in a different part of the wheel. So think of a wheel and having spokes. You have 9 spokes. In the center is interpersonal, and around you got spiritual, environmental, intellectual, emotional, social, occupational, financial, and physical. And so although I focus a lot on my physical, and physical is inclusive of your nutrition, I focus a lot on my financial. I've always had a job since the age of 13. Social, I've always been big on the social scene, but I start going inward. That should have been the first sign that it was something wrong when I start retrieving from my friends. Emotional, my emotions was all over the place because I could not understand what was happening, why it was happening, and the things that were happening. I had no control over it, but it was happening all at the same time on top of COVID, which you referenced. And then the intellectual, that's my default setting. When all else fails, I get to work creating and I start problem solving. That's my default setting. And environmental. So with this season that I was in, everything, my dimensions of wellness was like, it was kaput. But I held on to the spiritual and tried to hold on as much as I could to my intellectual. But all those other spokes on my wheel was wreaking havoc, And that happens from season to season in people's lives. And so one thing I want to tell you guys is that wellness is not a one size fits all. And it's not something that this is a goal to reach towards and everybody goal will look alike. Wellness is ever evolving. You could be well today and not well tomorrow, right? You have to give yourself space and grace to allow yourself to move through this ever evolving, ever changing, interconnected, multi-dimensional and multi-layer thing called holistic wellness. We all strive for a harmonious balance, but we don't control everything. And so I just come to tell you guys, give yourself grace and space. It's not a perfect thing, and it's so interconnected. And think of a domino effect. One thing could cause everything else to fall. And so you want to, as much as possible, have something that grounds you, even when everything else around you is going chaotic. And for me, it's spiritual. It's my belief in God and that He has it all in His hands.
Yeah. It was one thing that you said that is I think a lot of us do this. When something happens, like I've done the same thing. When something happened in our life, and we just instead of dealing with it like right there, like we just kind of push it down and just get busy doing something else. And I've done that a lot, and that's not the same as putting it on the altar and giving it to God and then going on about your life. That's not the same thing. So, a lot of times, like if some of us that have had different things happen to us in life, traumatic things, things that can alter our mindset at a snap, at a moment. We don't deal with them, and I want to say that a lot of us as African Americans, but I think that's like over the board. What we do is we just take that thing and we bury it, and we get busy. I'm not gonna focus on it. I'm just gonna get busy doing something else, and then the next thing you know, we haven't even dealt with it. We haven't dealt with molestation. We haven't dealt with alcoholism and drug addiction or abuse, or my child out here acting a fool. You know what I'm saying? This job or whatever it is, we don't. Sometimes we don't deal with it, and sometimes what we do is we push it down and we just get busy, or we'll take on more at our jobs, or for those of us that is creative. I got to turn a little bit of light on. There we go. I was getting a little dark over here. And those of us who are creative, we start to get creative. And Michelle, if you want to, I want to tell you, you can drop things in the chat. I don't know if you can on your end. If you can, if you want to. Oh, you can't. Okay. So we get busy, and what happens is later on, when those things keep happening, those different things that keep happening, they just pile up and pile up and pile up. And I just wanted to touch on that because a lot of people, we do that until it takes that one thing, that one thing to happen, and where we snap. I remember one time I found myself in the basement beating up my
the washer or dryer?
Beating up my washing machine and dryer. I don't know if y'all heard me down there, but my husband, he was just got to, on my last. I just didn't know how to deal, didn't know what to do. I'm raising teenagers, and then that didn't even have to do with everything else in your life that you've dealt with in your childhood, coming up as a young adult. We go through a whole lot. Having kids early, whatever it is, we go through a whole lot. Even when you in a relationship, and I want to say this, even when we're in a relationship, when when that person that we love the most, step out in your marriage or even your relationship when you're younger, I held on to some of those things also. So all of that comes along. All this baggage that we carry in our life, through our teens, through our teens, because teenagers go through a lot. I always tell parents, don't think that teenagers don't go through anything, because they're trying to figure out life at that time. And they trying to figure out how to maneuver no matter, what kind of parent they have. We can all be great parents, and we can give our children everything that we have and all our experiences and all our hopes, and we can give all those things to our children. But when they become teenagers and they get out here in the world, and I'm talking about myself too, they have to learn how to maneuver through life on their own.
Mhm.
Even though we still there, they might not decide to reach out at first. You know what we always talk about this. They might not decide to reach out at first. And so teenagers go through a whole lot. They experiencing things. They got peers that's trying to pressure them into doing things and trying things, and go places that they shouldn't, but um we can, as parents, we can only give them what we can and what we have. That's the main thing is that we cannot give people what we don't have.
Yeah.
Period, point blank. I can't teach you something that I don't know nothing about.
Yeah.
But all I can do is give you what I have. And you touched on and then, like, we go through 20s. You got to get out on your own. You got to pay your own bills. If you're in a marriage, you got to learn how to deal with that marriage. So you got to learn how to deal with a lot of things. And then when you become an adult, a real adult. Look, I never said I can't wait until I can pay my own bills, until I can get in my really, really be a responsible adult. I said I can't wait till I turn 18. I never said I can't wait until I get all of this other stuff that's added on to me, and I have to carry that through life. And you said something about being grounded,
Mm.
which is very, very important. Exactly. We can only teach and draw upon from what we know. Exactly, Jetta. That's all we can do. You said something that's very important about being grounded. And how can we live well if we don't have a foundation? If
Mhm.
we don't know what living well means? Um, Having a foundation and being grounded in something greater than us. Because if we all we know, and if we think we know everything, and if we move in only our own knowledge and our own in our own knowledge and our own wisdom that we think we have,
Mhm.
then that's grounds for a downfall.
Yeah.
That's grounds for a downfall sooner or later. We believe that Christ is our foundation. When I say we, I mean me and my daughter, and some of the other people on here. And some people, you have your own. Everybody have their own foundation. I always tell you, I don't knock people. I tell you, this is what we believe in. This is what I believe in. But my foundation is in Jesus Christ. And I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of times, I don't know where I would be or how I would get through certain situations if I did not have the hope of Christ in me. Look, that's what Paul said. He said, if I would have lost hope,
Mm.
if I would have lost heart if I didn't see hope in the land of the living. I probably did not recite that exactly the same way, but we have to have hope and living well. I want you to touch on that a little bit, like
Yeah.
hope, because you talked about hope with
Mm.
me before, about hope and living well. Remember when we
Yeah.
talked about East Cleveland?
Yeah. Yo, yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So when I moved back from South Korea, I was working for an organization where we focus on diabetes education, diabetes prevention, and chronic disease self management. And I was working in the community, going to churches, working alongside food pantries and things of that nature, doing screenings and education out in the community, meeting people where they are. And East Cleveland was an area that I spent a lot of my teenage years in. Once I met my now husband, he lived in East Cleveland, and so I went back there. And it's always since I've been here. I know before I was here, it was like a prime spot. It was a spot where a lot of things were happening, good things were happening. They have big historic homes and things like that. But by the time I came along and spent time in East Cleveland, it was a very desolate, high crime place, unsafe place for families to raise their kids, high drug trafficking and all type of things. And so I was in that community because that's where the greatest need was to do the education, to meet people where they are, to hear them out and to work alongside them and guide them through the process so they could live well. They could identify what was going on with them, and they could live well despite their diagnosis of diabetes or their risk of diabetes or other chronic diseases. And being there in that community, it was such a sense of lack of hope. Lack of hope. The community always felt dark and gray and just a desolate place. Businesses had came in for a short time frame, shipped out. It was corruption and the political field there way before my time. But it was one day after leaving there, and I was just overwhelmed. So I'm very empathetic, always have been since I was a little kid, and so I could feel when other people have their emotions. Like it feels heavy on me, especially when it's heavy emotions. And so I had to leave out to get a fresh breath of air so I could regroup and then come back, have a moment to take care of myself. And I went out into the parking lot, which was facing right out on Euclid. And it felt like I was standing in the middle East Cleveland. And I just looked up to God and I asked God to help me help them, basically, to help me, show me, give me what I need so I can help his people have hope. It was just so much lack of hope, like they had given up on themselves. It was, this is what it is. I've been living this way for all my life. Ain't nothing gonna change no matter what I do. What's the point of me focusing on my nutrition when my life is all HE double hockey stick over here, when all heck is breaking loose over here? I don't have a job to pay this, and I'm borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. I'm taking care of my kids' children because they're strung out on drugs, and I'm barely making ends meet. It was just so much. It was so overwhelming, and I just wanted for God to like just snap his fingers and fix it, or like I told my mom in my church, hit me with some power so I can fix it. But it was just wanting to pour hope back into that community. And so after that, it was me feeling like I need to do something, and then God ordaining it very clearly through his word and making me know that this is what you are called for. You're called to teach them how to live well despite their circumstances. Come on. Despite their circumstances, you're called to teach them how to live well. With only $100 left in their pocket, how can they live well? If they can only survive on food stamps and pantry food, how can they live well? If they have been diagnosed with everything in the book, how can they live well and know that I am who I said I am? I got to stop there because I want to go. But that is what I spoke to my mom about hope in the middle of East Cleveland. And ever since that year, it was 2015, standing in the middle of East Cleveland, that's where I've been. That's the path that I've been on, the journey that I've been on. But first, always, God don't call you to nothing that he's not taking you through or bringing you out of. And that's been my own journey throughout my life. I'm just in a different part of it. Mentally, that's the part that I'm in. But with nutrition and physical fitness, despite my environment, despite how scary it was, like that's where I started, and wellness just grew from that. But hope has always been the center and the foundation in all that I do to help them to see it. And people have said I'm annoyingly optimistic, so I can always find the light at the end of the tunnel, even when it was doom and gloom for me. And I was looking like, okay, God, how can you use this nervous breakdown to give you glory and to help others come out of it? So that's what that was. East Cleveland, the word.
Yeah. And sometimes I'm telling y'all, sometimes she was telling me where it was a part of her job. She had to go take insulin to people sometimes, and it was like at night. I was like, "What? Who with you?" at 5 o'clock, and she in East Cleveland. She been gone for a long time, right? So I know about East Cleveland. You don't. If my other girl on here, two of them that know about Cleveland, you don't be down there unless you got somebody with you, But she told me that one time she did call her stepfather to go down there. Remember you called Al and you had Al take you. But yeah, but it's about what God has called us to, and she's always been about health and getting yourself together. So I just want you to talk a little bit about you and what you're doing now. Your business that you starting or that you started, and your journal that you have that's for sale. Yeah, wait, Melissa know me and Melissa went to school together. She said, I know East Cleveland. Okay, that's what she said, all in caps. Okay, Patty D said the Lord had to be on her side. So these is women from Ohio. We know you don't listen. If you ain't from Cleveland and you don't know about what street to go down or not to go down, don't go. You just avoid it. I'm just letting y'all know. but yeah, go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah. So are you talking about what I'm doing now? What I'm doing now to take myself
even if you want to even talk about a little bit about your job, what you do for people on your job, but talk about your business, the business, the what God is giving you.
Yeah. So really, really briefly, my title is Holistic Wellness and Public Health Educator. So those are the two topics that, for me, it aligns perfectly. Holistic wellness, public health. They're both multi-layered. They're both interconnected. The systems with our ability to live well, one influences the other and vice versa. So that's the hat that I wear, and that's the lens that I operate out of, and I teach out of, and I create. So what I'm doing through my business, Inside Out Wellness, is creating educational materials and tools for individuals and for groups, and eventually it will be for systems and for organizations. It's available now for them to utilize to help them to live well, to give out to their staff, give out to their colleagues, their friends, so that way they have root cause solutions, some tools that actually get to the root. A lot of what we see out here with wellness, I want you guys to always remember this: marketing and communication. Okay. These things are designed, and they spend a lot of money on their line item with their budget to market things to you, so that way they can make profit. So all things that talk about wellness is not going to help you get to that holistic wellness that we're looking to get. Holistic wellness is a life journey. It's not an overnight thing. There's no pill that can help you live well. There's no trick. There's no anything that can help you live well like this. It is a journey. And so it's, like I said earlier, it's constantly evolving depending on what season you're in. You might be living, like I said earlier, you could be living well at your job, and then the next season you're not. How many people lost their job? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Their earning power, their buying power, all that went to kaput. So their financial wellness and their occupational wellness in that spoke, boom, went out the window at that moment, and now they're scrambling. And everything else on that wheel is affected when one thing is affected. It truly is a domino effect. So as much as possible, don't fall for the marketing schemes on TV, on social media. And social media is a big one that they use as a platform to sell you a lot of stuff for overnight successful wellness. It is a life journey. Always remember that. So with my business, that's exactly what I do, because I understand the tricks of the game. I've been in healthcare since I was 18, and I know how they do what they do, especially with marketing, right? And so they'll sell you all these surface solutions. Wellness is about root cause problems. Therefore, you have to have root cause solutions. You have to work through this thing. You got to work through it, right? It's not impossible. And some people might not like it, but it's just the truth. You have to work through it. It's a day in, day out. Sometimes your kids are great. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes your spouse is great. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes everything seems like, oh, everything is in harmonious balance. And we're like, ooh, it is perfect. And then sometimes it is like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? You know, it's just I'm always going to be honest. I'm going to be real with you guys. I say the real deal, Holyfield, and I'm going to give it to you like that. And so the work that I do through my organization, Inside Out Wellness, it's about that. It's working to live well, holistically well, despite what is happening all around you, and doing so from the inside out, starting with being grounded. Okay. And then working all along those spokes, the wellness wheel, and guiding you through it, walking you through it, is essentially doing what I've been doing for a very long time. 18, how many years? I'm 35. So what's that? 17 years at this point, in different type of aspects, with kids, with adults, elderly. I worked with seniors as a nursing assistant. I worked with youth in the education system. I worked across the lifespan. And so living well looks different for different ages as well. So I work with individuals, I work with groups. I'm going to branch out and try to work with churches. Actually, God called me to work with churches. So working with health and wellness ministries, I've been doing that for a while, some years now. I started out with Powerhouse Christian Fellowship Church, working with their health and wellness ministry as the member there and the minister of wellness, and branching out to work with other churches with their health and wellness ministries to help them build it up, and teaching people how to do this thing, and always going for my live, learn experiences, but creating tools, support tools along the way. So I have a website. It's called livewellonpurpose.org. So you can go there and I can share that information with you. I can also share the link with you to the journal. Right now it's called Mood Food, or right now I have a digital one out. It's called Mood Food Connection, and it's a wellness discovery journal.
What's your website again?
Oh, livewellonpurpose.org.
Oh, one word.
All one word. Livewellonpurpose.org. And I'll share all the links with you so you can include them in the show. I think it's called show notes. I'm kind of new to YouTube, but I've listened to some of them over the years. So I'll give you all the official links to everything so you can share it with your audience. But essentially, in a nutshell, that's what I do across sectors, across all ages. And I've been doing it since the age of 18. No matter what organization I've worked for, I've always operated through that lens of walking with people through their journey, and teaching from my lived, learned experiences, and doing it together, and not giving them these fake one shop or one stop shop, not one stop shop, one size fit all, one stop shop. I think thought about Walmart, one size fits all solutions, or quick get rich scheme solutions, or get well scheme solutions. Just, giving them the real.
Yeah, yeah, and that's so important. I always say that one of the things where I've always seen in your life how what we have to work with what God placed in our hand. There is somewhere in the Bible, as I might not be given the exact words, but what it means is that the wealth, God has given you what you need in your hand to take care of yourself. And when that means that it's in your hand, that means that it's in your mind, it's in your body. You already working through it. You already working in it, and He will place you in working in that thing. And some of us don't stay there because we don't really realize it. Sometimes it takes years to realize what your true gift is, or what it is, what your true purpose is. But one thing I can say about you, I have always seen you working in that purpose, in this purpose, the purpose that God has set for you. Even as a teenager, you started, like, after, I think it was after you had little Larry, or I don't know if it was before or after. I think it was after you started dealing with basically living well, health and wellness. You started with that health and wellness because when you got pregnant with him, you had gained a lot of weight. That was your first baby. We all eat a lot when we pregnant. Sure. It's like no matter
Polish
what nobody.
Yes, even Polish boys.
Yes, she was on the Polish Boys. What was the name of that place down there on 105?
Trailer House.
The trailer house. Come on, yes. Somebody. If Melissa's still on here, she might be gone. The trailer house on 105.
Yeah.
Man, Polish Boys, fried chicken. That was Michelle's thing. They had those little, the little white things where you could get like a few chicken wings and
Mm,
French fries, right?
mm.
That was like my kids' go-to meal. I need like $2.50 or $3.50, and they had a set price, okay?
Come
And they
on.
was always walking in the door. Even when she got home from school, it's like they got to get off the bus on 105 right there by the trailer house. Always walking home with these little white. You see, you understand what I'm saying? I'm like, well, where my Polish boy at? but no, it's like, so we learn, right? We learn from a very early age sometimes what our gifting and what our callings is and what it is that we gonna be doing later on. Like I said, we might not see it right away, but I believe that God has always had you, right, Melissa?
Po boys. Po boys.
Right, where you, God has always had you working in
Yeah.
that the wellness, the health and wellness. And even when you went out of town working in these different spots and taking care of the mentally challenged people,
Yeah.
doing that. And then she was working with kids, making sure the kids was living well, getting their education. So this is something that you have always worked in. And so I want to tell you that I am very proud of you, where God has brought you from and where he has you right now. Even though, excuse me, even though you had a lot of challenges that you had to go through, and even through the mental breakdown, we all can go through that. We, like some of us go through mental breakdowns in different ways. We get depressed, get depressed and stay in the house and cry and stay in our bed, and just some of us just eat. That's a form of mental instability. That's like the same thing with alcoholism. Alcoholism, we drink to cover up how we feel or what we went through, and just cover it up. Doing drugs is cover it up. Doing sexing, men and women, it don't matter. We use a lot of things to cover up how we feel or what we went through or what we going through. But the main thing is to learn how to live well,
Mhm.
how to live well, and doing those. What are some of the things that you do? I don't know if you touched on it, but real quick before
I
we
didn't.
go, what is some of the things that you do to live well now?
Yeah. So I'll talk more about it in depth on my channel, but I'll list some things
Okay.
off. The main thing that I'm doing right now is journaling. Right. So I've journaled on and off over the years, mainly journaling around the food that I ate and paying attention to what was happening before I made the choice, after I ate. And that's what this journal is about, teaching people how to be aware of what's happening with them, around them, within them, identify their triggers. Your ability to live well is determined by your ability to be aware of what's going on with you. And so this journal that I created, it really gets to that. So really you could use this outside of food as well. You could use it for those things. What's triggering you to smoke and drink, right? But journaling has been my go-to thing for years. And so outside of journaling, one thing that I do a lot, I'm musically inclined. I think that goes throughout our family line, our bloodline. So music has always pulled and tugged at me. So depending on what type of music I'm listening to determines my mood, and vice versa. Whatever music I'm listening, whatever mood I'm in, that's the music I gravitate to. But what I've been doing is listening to music that calms my spirit and settles my mind. So I am an overthinker. I have always thought a lot. I've always had a lot of thoughts. I've always paid attention to humans. I tell this thing where I've studied human behavior before I studied human behavior in school. And so I've studied and watched and paid attention to people, places, and things, trends before I knew that was a term in public health. And so this has always been going. It's always been going and growing and constantly just on. And so listening to music, journaling, getting my thoughts out, calming my spirit, it's been helping me to have like only one or two thoughts at a time. And because my thoughts will go as fast as I talk and vice
Mm,
versa.
mm,
And with that, with so many thoughts, and again, me being very, very empathetic, they have a term now called empath. Not only did I have my thoughts and my feelings, I had other people's feelings and the thoughts that they would verbalize out of their mouth. And so trying to process through all of that was a lot. And so everything just became overwhelming. Everything just became too much. And I didn't work through some of the things that I needed to work through because I didn't even remember them. That's what trauma does to you. And so things start bubbling to the surface that I didn't remember, I didn't deal with because I couldn't remember, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, and it knocked me off. So other than knock me off my footing. So other than journaling, listen to music, I've always got moving, some type of exercise or, going for walks or whatever. But right now, and it's been like the past 3 years, about 3 years now, it's been all about dancing. It's been all about dancing because I used to club a lot. Used to party a lot since I was a teenager. Yeah. And clubbing, partying, I was completely free. And then a lot of stuff started happening in clubs where it was no longer safe. But we still party. We still dance. My daughter, she started using TikTok at 2018. And so that's more than 3 years. Whenever 2018 was, however many years, what's that, 4 years ago? We started dancing using TikTok and just being silly and being free. So dancing, that helps with your mental so much. Getting moving, period. So just getting your body moving, period, helps with your mental. It fires off things in your brain. And I'll talk about more of that on my next video on YouTube, the next one that I have about getting moving and what it does to your brain. And so getting moving always, changing my environment. That's part of my business too. Changing my environment, getting out of spaces, breathing. I was taught how to breathe deep because I had asthma and it was hard for me to breathe different seasons. And I didn't always have my asthma inhaler, my rescue inhaler. So I was taught how to do deep breaths since I was a little girl. My mama taught me that actually. I remember one adult taught me how to do it with a paper bag, but it was deep breathing nonetheless. And then you grow up and you learn about wellness, you dive deeper into it and you learn that deep breathing exercises is one of the biggest techniques that they teach when it comes to meditation and calming your mind, calming your spirit, becoming one with yourself and becoming aware and not being impulsive and reactive. Deep breathing is crucial, right? It calms me. So those are some of the things I'm thinking, and having routines. So I'll share the different routines that I have on my page. Night routine is always the most important for me because it jumpstarts your day. So night routine and then morning routines, and then having some type of, scheduled things throughout the day helps me along the way. And the most important thing for me, other than the things I mentioned, is staying creative, working in my gift, working in my calling, because again, that's what grounds me. That's what God has taught me to do. So when I couldn't even think straight, when I was on the medications that they gave me and I was afraid, I didn't know what was happening, messed with my short-term memory, I kept creating. And me creating, working in my gift, ultimately helped me to be pulled out of that depressive state that I was in, riddled with anxiety, because I was able to control something in an uncontrolled mindset that I was having, right? And getting moving and changing the way I ate was crucial as well, making sure I had my nutrients. So I'll go into all of those much deeper on my channel over the course of however long we do this. But I just want to give you some insight into what I do, what I was doing beforehand, but what I'm more intentional with doing once I got this diagnosis. And yeah.
I laughed a little bit because when you were saying about dancing, because I shared with Nat a little while ago. It was today or either yesterday. Remember when you was over here she gave me that what did you give me for Christmas?
It's like this one of them
Alexa. What's the name? Alexa. Yeah, Alexa, right? And so I told Alexa to, I finally hooked it up when she was over here. Told Alexa to put on some music. I told her to put on something, and she put something on. Y'all, I'm up here dancing. I'm dancing, and all of a sudden it's like, whew, I can't breathe. I need to dance more. I was about to pass out.
Yes.
I need to dance more. But when you do dance more, when you dance or just make your body move, it do make you feel good. You know, one of the things that you touched on, it's the 6 o'clock hour, so we're not gonna prolong the time too long. So, but I just want to say, like, one of the things I have been doing lately, which I didn't do before, is definitely the meditation. the meditation tool as far as putting it on the TV, because I'm like you. My mind will race, bam, 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 and I can't go to sleep at night. And so I learned like about a year or two ago, that when I put those meditation sounds, like the sounds of water, or you need to get the door. Oh, the
The kids
sounds
do
of water, or the sounds of water, air, and in the wintertime I do snow. I do videos that shows snowing, because I'm a country person. I love the country. I like to look at the houses on the country. So I watch those, the sounds. And so when I went to my friend Jetta's that's on here now, is top the power of thoughts, TP pop the power of thoughts, TPOT, right there, Jetta. She has some meditation. She does a lot of like yoga and meditation, and she has meditations on her channel too. So you can definitely use those. And I just over recently learned about those different sounds and wavelength sounds that they have on there, and the different things that be going on, that you can watch that, and it calms you. It helps to center you. And so at night when I can't go to sleep, I'll turn something on. Um, like right now, like I realize I'm paying more attention. So I realize if I turn my air purifier, the sound, because it's a fan, and instead of having no sound in the house, that sound, and then I'll turn on the TV, and it'll have like that soft music that I was telling you about, no words, just the sound of the music, going. It puts me like
mm.
I be gone.
To sleep, rock you,
So
rocks you to sleep.
yes, and that's look, the power of things that can alter our mind, or quiet our mind,
Mhm.
quiet our state. Um, it's something. It's something. I like
Yeah.
sometimes if I really can't sleep, or I'm afraid or something like that. If it's something that I'm really thinking about that's got me disturbed a little bit, I'll say the Lord's Prayer. And
Yeah.
and sometimes before I know it, it's like there's a calm that comes over me. I'll
Mhm.
say the Lord's Prayer and then listen to my sound, and it's like,
Mhm.
that's it. I'm out. See y'all tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
and
just using, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just about to answer the power of thoughts question. She said, "Do you like singing bowls?" I have. Well, she was asking you, but
Oh,
I do have a singing bowl. It's a little mini size one, but it is amazing what it does. You literally feel the vibrations throughout your body. You feel it. You get connected with that. And one thing you had mentioned was about, I don't know if you said it, but it made me think about being in nature. So one of the first things I would do was just spend time in nature. I would spend time with God's creations, and it would help to calm me naturally. Like I would just go out there, and I had put a post years ago about what being in nature does to your brain. And so being
mm,
in nature is very, very crucial as well. Even though it's cold outside, getting outside and being amongst the living, even if the living don't talk to you, is still living. So getting out
yeah.
there, and we are one with we are one with all God's creations, right? And
Mhm,
so we are so removed with being in front of these screens, in front of the computers all the time, and in front of our phones, that we have been completely disconnected from what God intended and created for us to be connected with, to give us full life. And that is why I say that having your spiritual grounding is the key and the foundation for your ability to live well. You have to get connected with your creator and get connected with the things he created for you to live well. And
mhm,
yeah, singing bowls, being out in nature, all this vibrational stuff is not super outside of what God teaches. It's just, sometimes it's easier for people to believe in those things than it is for them to believe in God, because they can physically hold that and not God. But it really is all connected, because we're made up of spirit. We're spiritual
mhm,
beings. Yeah.
mhm. Yes, we are so blocked out from nature, from
Yeah.
being buildings, work, school. Yes, we are. We are. We are, Jetta. And I was thinking about that because I live on the second floor. But when I lived on the first floor in my other apartment, I was outside more. I would even get up early in the morning and go for walks. I felt a little bit safer in that area because I was like right there on the street. I was in Cleveland Heights. It was more houses around than apartments and some of these other areas that's around. But I really like, and in the wintertime when it snowed, because I'm a winter baby. I for whatever reason, I love it. To me, when it snows and what it does out to the outside, for me, what it does, it purifies the earth. And so purification, I'm big on purification. Clean it up. Clean it up. So I'm big on purification. And so for me, snow is a form of God's purification. He sends the snow to, like, everything is shut down, trees fall, leaves falling off of trees, everybody is asleep, everything in the earth is asleep. Okay. And so it is God's time to purify the earth. Even some of the people don't come outside in the winter. I'm a hibernating kid for real. I'm just like the bears. I'll wake up, I'll be ready to work next month when springtime comes. Call me then. Anyway. But literally, I realized one year that my body goes into hibernation in the wintertime. It's like I ain't with nothing, y'all. Don't bother me. But when spring come, it's like a whole nother mindset. It's like the body, the everything wakes up. You got to get out. You got to get out. You got to do this. You have to do that. But anyway.
Yeah. So we're one of God's creations. So we're on the same.
Yes, the same cycle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes. And that's why I like watching. I like watching a lot of the Alaska shows, the nature shows that I watch. I love to see how things go into hibernation. Didn't realize until years ago when I learned how the snakes hibernate. The snakes not snakes. Oh God, I don't like snakes. Squirrels they go underground, and do you know they go into a freezing mode? Did you know that?
I didn't know they were in freezing mode.
Underground. Go into it might, I don't know if it's all of them, but it might be a certain type of, but they go into a freezing mode. Their bodies, the blood even stop flowing. Everything when in the wintertime. So that's how they hibernate. That's how they hibernate underground. Everything stops. And when a certain period, it's like their system just rejuvenates itself and they start to come alive. It's like they die.
My goodness.
Right. You learn all these things on the Nature Channel about these different animals. I was like, wait, they dead. They died for the winter.
My goodness.
And then they come back to life. But you know what? God's creations is like that.
Yeah.
We don't know how, he makes things, I believe that he makes things perfect and well and good. Yeah. And he knows what we know. He knows us. He knows our beginning from our beginning to our end. He knows what we're going to have to go through. So he already created everything that we already need. The Bible says that God has given us everything that we need pertaining to life and godliness. I used to say life and death until I went in the Bible and read the scripture the right way. Life and godliness. But he's given us everything that we need. It's in us. We have what we need in order to make it and to make it work. But sometimes we have to be reminded of who we are and that we can live well. We don't have to live in our circumstances. We don't have to live in our yesterday. We don't have to live in, like, no matter what happened to me, that does not define me. Yeah. If I've been abused sexually, mentally, or sexually, mentally, physically, emotionally, that does not define who we are. That's just a circumstance, something that happened to us. And we have to come out of it and move past it. And God will remind you of who you are in him, that we have the strength. We are overcomers. We are kings and queens. We are the head and not the tail. Come on, somebody.
Above and not beneath.
Can I get an amen? Above and not beneath. So that means we are not beneath our circumstance. Our circumstance is beneath us. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
We have the power to tread on serpents, on anything that is not like God. We have the power to tread on it. So we have to learn sometimes, through our circumstance, we might fall. We falter, but we get back up. The Bible says a man falls 7 times and he still get up.
Come on.
So get up,
Get up.
So it don't always, when we trying to live well, I always tell them that I am on a journey to lose 100 pounds. I don't know when I'm gonna lose 100 pounds, but I'm starting to sweat. That's the Holy Ghost building up in me. Anyway, I don't know when I'm gonna lose 100 pounds, but I ain't gonna give up. As long as I got breath in my body. Why I ain't feeling the air? Because I got a clean fan. Anyway, as long as I got breath in my body, I'm gonna keep fighting to lose that 100 pounds, no matter what I gotta do, So guys, I thank you all for coming. And if you have any questions before we go, please ask Michelle. Put it in the chat. You can it's within us. Jetta said it's within us. We have to love and accept ourselves for the good, bad, and that we all have, right? Through our good and our bad. Stephanie, you're losing pounds daily. I am. I definitely am. I done lost.
That's right.
Almost 30 pounds. From this from the shot that I had started taking. So, we do what we have to do in order to live well. Look at me. Come on, fan, you ain't doing your job.
Listen, the sweat is inches rolling off. It's the inches rolling off. So I embrace sweat.
Come on, look at them pounds in that. Look at those. Look, wait, y'all. That's makeup. Net put makeup on my face. That's another reason why I'm sweating. But anyway, 70 more. Come on, 70 more. Yes. So you want to give them your everything, your website and everything where they can reach you real quick before we get off.
Yeah. So thank you. The Power of Thoughts. She keeps putting it in there. I appreciate you so much. That is the URL to my website. And let me see here, because I have two different. My name is kind of backwards on social, from Instagram to Facebook. So on Facebook, my name is Live Well Inside Out Michelle. But I have a business Facebook page I'm gonna start operating more out of, and I'll connect that. It's connected to my website already, so you can click on that. And my Instagram is also connected to my website. So if you just want to go to my website, she has the link already in there. Thank you again. I truly appreciate you. And I will be subscribing to all of your pages. But it goes to the website. It has both my the link to my both socials. I only do Instagram and Facebook right now. I just started TikTok just to have my own TikTok page so I can stop hijacking my daughters, just to have fun. It's super, she laughed. It's super fun. And it allows you just to get out your mind space, just to go back and do stuff. Kids, have fun. So the world and the work and all that, it just becomes so much. So I started a TikTok page, and it's also called Michelle Lives Well. So it's easy to find me on there. I'm brand new to it. And then lastly, on my website, you will go to the shop, and it has the digital download of the journal. The physical journal is in production. So pretty soon it'll be ready for people to actually have the physical manifestation of what was here in my head in 2016. But right now it's a digital download. So get it for yourself. It's only $11. Yourself, anybody else that needs it. And then leave reviews on any of my social medias. I look forward to hearing the feedback and look forward to hearing the success stories that come out of using that journal. And then my YouTube page is also Michelle Lives Well. So I think that's everything. I think I covered everything, but I'll give her all the links so she can include it in the show notes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Hey, Pastor. Pastor just jumped in. You can we getting ready to get off, but if you didn't check it, it'll be definitely be if you didn't get a chance to listen, it'll be up on my page. After a while, they put it on there. But I thank everybody. I thank Michelle for coming on and talking about living well all the way around holistically. I appreciate you. I love you. That's my oldest. I love her. But I love you guys, and I thank you. So please support our channel. If you can, grab the journal. Yeah, I can't wait till it come out. Get printed, because I like tangible stuff. I hold on to it for years. But thank you guys for coming on. We love you. We will see you in the next video. And thank you, Jetta, so much for keeping dropping, for continuously dropping her link. So we'll see you. Don't forget, guys, the break room is back open on Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. If I am not on at 9 a.m., don't be mad. I'm coming. But I'm trying to get myself back on at 9. If not, then we'll open the break room during lunchtime. Okay, so we'll be able to come in the break room. But and we will definitely be up Sundays at 5 o'clock. And so you never know when we will have I'll let you know when we'll have a guest. And you never know, it might be you. So see you guys later. We love you so much. Peace. Michelle, wait, are you still there? I ended the broadcast so they can't.
We're in the show now. We're in the show. They can still hear us and see us. Hey y'all.
They can. I ended the broadcast.